MLS jerseys. They sure have changed a lot over the years. When the first jerseys were presented ahead of the 1996 season, they were bold and crazy. The San Jose Clash with colors that actually clash, the Colorado Rapids having green jerseys, the Wild Times in the 90s. Now we look at jerseys today in 2020 and we see plain shirts and template designs. Adidas have really seemed to reduce their design efforts over the years, along with probably Major League Soccer as well. I've been buying MLS jerseys for about 5 years right now, and I bought 3 MLS jerseys, and all of them are Toronto FC. The first one is the 2015-2016 Toronto FC jersey, the second one's the 2017 Toronto FC jersey, and the third one's the 2019-2020 Toronto FC jersey. Basically, all that I want to do is I want to compare and contrast the jerseys over the 5 years that I bought them. I'll show that right now. The 2015 jersey looks pretty basic. It has more of a black and red theme, but it is pretty plain after that. However, the jersey does have some neat stitching despite the more plain design, and that's one of the aspects I like about it. Overall, the jersey looks like a pretty high quality, having a plastic maple leaf that was originally fully red, but wore out a bit, and having fabric Adidas lines. You'll see why that's more important when we look at the 2019 jersey. Then we have the 2017 jersey. The maple leaf color is changed in this one to gray, and the plastic feels a little bit more like rubber. It seems a bit more durable than the 2015 one. No interesting stitching with this jersey, however, it did take a slightly striped approach, similar to the Chelsea jersey back in the day. Originally, I didn't like them bringing back the gray sides, but I kind of like them now. It makes this look like they took an older TFC jersey and modernized it, and made it into a pretty good quality jersey. I like this one. This is one of my favorite jerseys that TFC has ever released. Now let's look at the 2019 jersey. I can't stand it. Yet I bought it thinking that it might look a little bit better in person, which is not true. And I also kind of thought it might add to my personal collection. It was completely my decision. I know you might be thinking that it's very similar to the 2015 jersey, which it is. It's just worse quality for more money, even adjusting for inflation. Instead of using a plastic or a rubber maple leaf, they replaced it with an adhesive or whatever you call it, seemingly to save money. They turned the stitched Adidas stripes into adhesive ones, and now they're red. From afar, you can barely see the stripes, which I guess is part of the design because I don't think they want you to see them, because they look pretty bad in my opinion. Even the fabric has become worse quality on this shirt. When I used to spill water on the previous shirts, it would dry pretty easily. Now it takes forever. And the fabric seems to be less durable, as you might see with the strings that are coming off the shirt that I actually have to cut on the occasion. Now I know these might seem petty things to complain about, but when you're spending over $100 on a jersey, these small things matter. And let's keep in mind that the prices of MLS jerseys have gone up significantly in just 5 years, while the quality has gone down as I just showed, and the designs have gotten less creative, which I'll get onto in a bit. When I bought that 2015 TFC jersey, I think it was about $110 Canadian. You could pay for a name on the back for about $40 extra as well. Now if you put $110 in the inflation calculator, it'd be equivalent to about $118.65 today. So I don't quite understand why when you go to Real Sports, where many TFC fans buy their jerseys online, they're selling for $160 Canadian. That means that instead of increasing the price by accounting for inflation over 5 years, a 7.86% increase, that would be the inflation rate, MLS jersey prices have increased by 31.25% with inflation, and if you take out that 7.86% increase of inflation, then it's 23.39% taking out inflation. When jersey quality is going down and prices are going up, I think there is a problem. Now let's take a look at jersey designs, besides the ones that I've already shown. Let's look at some of the away jerseys over the past 2 years. Look at how many almost plain white jerseys there were. What is with all these template jerseys? Now I do have to say that this year's jerseys were a bit more creative, so I will give MLS and Adidas credit where credit is due. Home jersey designs haven't been all bad for the past few years, but I do feel that some of them, like the 2019 Toronto FC jersey, were definitely another boring plain jersey that I wish were rethought before it was released. So of course some of the things like price and quality can only be fixed by MLS and Adidas. All of these problems can only be fixed by MLS and Adidas, but there's some, like, that's just a choice, that's just a business choice that they want to make. But I think stuff like design, it's a lot easier to choose. There's nothing about, you don't have to worry as much about your bottom line. Like, all that I want to say is that they probably could have a lot better designs or a lot more different designs if they signed multiple deals with different kit suppliers. So say they signed a deal with Adidas, Nike, and Umbro or whatever, or just like Adidas and Nike made half of the kits for teams in the league, and then on the other hand Adidas made the other half of the kits for the teams in the league, and then we wouldn't be seeing the same jerseys over and over and over, even if they are kind of using their templates to make the jerseys. One thing that they could also do to make significantly different jerseys, I think MLS used to let MLS franchises sign a kit supplier on their own, and they could go back to that, or if they didn't have that in the past, they could just start doing it, and we would see a lot different. You know, if one team had Macron making their jerseys, then the other one had Adidas, the other one had Nike, the other one had Umbro, we'd see a much different variety, a much better variety of MLS designs in the jerseys, and it would be much more fun to look at all the different jerseys in MLS. But on the other hand, that could lessen the parity in the league, and I think that's something MLS wouldn't like to do. So I think the best option, the most feasible option for MLS is just telling Adidas to make some more creative jerseys, or else they'll sign a deal with someone else, maybe threaten that with them. But I have a feeling MLS is trying to push these more cookie cutter jerseys. Like, I think MLS, this is just speculation, so you can take this with a grain of salt, but when every single, well, not every single, but a lot of away jerseys were just a white jersey with a little design, a little stitching design or whatever, and they're like, basically they're all just white jerseys with the logo of the team on. I don't think Adidas could get away with that unless the league was on board. So I have a feeling MLS was doing that for the past 2 years, and then they got a bit of backlash, so they stopped doing it. Bottom line is, I think MLS needs to push Adidas, and I think they need to push themselves to be a little bit more bold with the design. Anyway, there are some positive things that they can do to make their jerseys better, even without hitting their bottom line. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. I hope you'll see changes. Ultimately, it is MLS's and its franchise choices to price and make jerseys in the way they want, and a bit of Adidas's choice as well. However, it is the fans' choice to not buy the jersey or the kit if they offer such a bad deal. You know, just because I bought the last 3 home jerseys doesn't mean I'll buy the next one. And if I see a worse quality TFC jersey and a worse design, like a boring design again, in 2021 at another higher price, I probably won't buy it, along with many other fans. Anyway, we'll have to see what happens next year. You know, I love Major League Soccer, but in my view, I don't think you can release a jersey that's more expensive every year, lower quality, and it's got a pretty boring design on it, and expect that you're gonna get more sales. You know, I think one of the major reasons why probably MLS is getting more sales, I don't know if they are, but I bet they are getting more sales, is because they have more fans than they used to. You know, more and more you see MLS and Toronto FC in my area becoming more of a prevalent team that people support. But that doesn't mean that jerseys are good, and if you make better jerseys that are better designs, better quality, lower prices, or at least you don't have to go and cut the prices, but just raise it with the price of inflation. Don't keep increasing it. Like, I don't want it to be $300 to buy a jersey in 3 years. Like, at this rate that they're increasing, it's getting a little bit crazy. You just can't keep increasing these prices, putting out not the greatest jerseys, and expect that you're going to keep selling more and more jerseys year after year. Eventually people stop buying the jerseys, especially, you know, I'm not saying they should decrease the prices because of a recession, but I'm just saying that less and less people are going to be willing during this global economic downturn to buy a jersey. And if you're going to raise the prices, you're going to put out crappy looking jerseys, people will be less willing to buy jerseys. So I think this is a good business decision to make for Major League Soccer, because you have to understand that when someone wears a jersey for New York Red Bulls, for Houston Dynamo, for Toronto FC, that's kind of promotion for that team as well. And if less people want to buy jerseys because they're getting too expensive, that means less promotion for that team down the road. I think this would be a good business decision to put more pride in the jerseys that you're creating. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Thank you for watching, and until next time, see ya.